Hey guys, Adrian here for digitaldojos.com. Today we're reviewing the iPad smart cover. This is for my new iPad 4th generation. I recently picked this up, and I know it's been out for a long time, but I did just want to kind of talk about the smart cover and my thoughts on it. It's been out since like the iPad 2nd gen. It's really basic polyurethane material. This is the polyurethane, not the leather edition. Retails for around $40, $30 to $40. Really basic cover for the iPad. Not a full-on case, but a cover, and you can see here just looking at the design, it's really minimalistic. It holds on via magnets, and it has a nice little felt material and also polyurethane-like material to protect your iPad screen. Installation is really easy here. Like I said, it uses these two magnets that snap onto the hinge of the iPad here. On the left side of the iPad here, form this little hinge for you to open and close your smart cover. And the magnets themselves that are built in are really, really durable. They hold on really nicely. And just to kind of attest to that, you can see you can just lift up the smart cover and the iPad hovers on. That's how strong the magnets are. Now, I don't recommend it. It does kind of show, again, the strength of the magnets that are built into the smart cover. While it's also a cover, it doubles as a stand, so you can fold these flaps back, and actually use it as a sort of angle for you to type, to watch movies, to prop up. You can prop it up in landscape mode, really nice for like portraits or just having it on your desk with apps running like Twitter or anything of that sort. You can also make it stand in portrait mode, though I don't know if it's totally recommended for that. It does work, and it's not as durable as it is in landscape mode, which I really do like it for the simplicity of how easy it is to put it into landscape mode here. And that's how it kind of looks like sitting at an angle there. Again, so it's really simple to flip into a stand. You just fold it back, and then you can even do it in portrait mode if you align it right on a flat surface here. Really, really simple. Again, you just fold back that smart cover, and it acts as a stand. And then you can just close it when you're done and on the go to use it as that. But let's go ahead and take a look at the pros and cons.
Hey guys, so now that we've took a look at the design and the kind of overall, look of the iPad smart cover, I just want to kind of break it down to the pros and cons. And, again, it's a smart cover. It's not a case. A case is something that I think defines that you totally enwraps the device. In this case, my iPad 4th gen. This is compatible with the 4th and 3rd gen, I believe. There's no real differences between the 3rd and 4th gen in terms of physical hardware. This is just a cover. It acts as a cover and also doubles as a stand, which is really nice. And I was looking for something minimalistic, sleek. I didn't want to add a whole case onto my iPad. Smart cover is perfect for that. This is the polyurethane edition, so you can get this for around $30 to $40. They also have the leather edition, which in my opinion isn't worth the price point. It's at $60, nearly $70, I think, actually. It does have a more of a better build in terms of the cover. It looks a little bit more classy, more businessy. But again, I think you can get a lot more at that price point than the actual Apple branded leather cover, while it does look much better. These polyurethane editions, in addition to being a cover, a stand, they're also added a little bit of unique personalization to your device. Again, I got the gray gray edition because it just matches well, in my opinion, with the aluminum. But you can get them in multiple colors on the site. They also offer a smart case if you want something that completely consumes your iPad to protect it. This main purpose covers the screen, kind of the most valuable thing on the iPad. The screen itself blocks it from, just basic stuff, dust, particles, all of that. And then it also has a nice little tidbit of a feature. When you open it, you can see here it turns on the iPad. So you can see as you close it, it locks the iPad because of these it uses magnets in the actual flap right here, and there's a magnet on the side that detects when you're closing the iPad and you're opening it. That's a nice little feature. You can turn that off in the iPad settings if you like. Again, I already showed you installation. The hinge is really nice build quality. Overall build quality, it really is nice. These magnets hold firm, and you saw me earlier, you're able to actually hold the whole iPad via the smart cover, though I don't recommend it, but it is nice. The flaps are nice little materials here. You can easily just fold them back. I showed you earlier to create that stand, and it holds really nice in terms of, folding into a stand for reading, typing, that sort of stuff. It gives you a nice little angle when using it. Watching videos, you can prop it up like this for kind of like a photo viewer or anything of that sort. But yeah, so overall, let me get into the pros and cons. Pros, really simple, really sleek, doesn't add a lot of bulk, and again, doubles as a stand and a cover. I mean, it does its most basic functions, and the magnet quality, the build strength of it is really, really durable. In terms of the polyurethane material itself, it's a nice little feel. I like it. I like the design of it and the texture of it, and it does a good job of keeping. There's not a lot of dirt that can get on this. You can easily wipe it off. The inside's kind of like a felt-like material that's supposed to kind of keep the screen clean, and it does for the most part in terms of dust particles. But this is where I get into the cons. I've noticed you get these like lines, these little textured lines. You can see them there if I hold them in the sun. You get these lines from the actual crevices here in the actual felt like material. So in that case, even though it keeps off dust and all that, it does add its own sort of fingerprint like marks to the screen, which is kind of annoying because every now and then you have to kind of clean off the screen when it's supposed to be keeping it clean by itself. So that's the major cons I saw. Also, I don't really like how when you hold it back like this when you're reading or you're using the iPad, it doesn't really fit uniformly. You can kind of see here, there's a huge glare, but this kind of goes off the edge right here. And what happens when you do that, you can see when you hold it, you get this kind of flap that goes up. So, you know, it's not really, it doesn't really hold nicely unless you hold it down really, really firmly, and it still kind of feels weird in hand when it's kind of off. So I recommend actually kind of just holding it like this, just folding it over because the magnets clasp together like that when you fold it two flaps over another, and you just hold it like that. It feels much more sturdier in the hand, and again, even though it's kind of off, it does feel much better, I think, when reading or holding it with one hand as compared to holding it like this. It just kind of feels weird, and you get that raised edge right there. Other than that, again, at $40, $35 to $40, the smart cover is a really simple solution to keeping your iPad, you know, clean, simple, and protected in a simple sense. Obviously, if you drop it and stuff like that, it's not going to protect it fully. The back is still exposed, all of that jazz. But again, for a simple case, definitely worth it. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It's not perfect, but again, simple, simplicity, and it matches the product well. Again, with aluminum hinge to the multiple colors you can get. Really nice and customizable in that sense. Not going to recommend the leather version. There's a lot of other alternatives out there. But again, it's a simple cover. Does a great job of what it does and what it's worth. So check it out for the iPad 4 and iPad 3rd Gen. I'm not going to recommend it yet for the iPad mini. I've seen a lot of people say it's not as great on the iPad mini. The magnet strength isn't as great. But on the iPad 4 and iPad 3rd Gen, I've used it. I've attested to it. And I'm going to say it's definitely worth the buy. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this quick review of the iPad smart cover. Thanks a lot for watching. Head over to digitaldojos.com for more content, and I will catch you all in the next video.